What's going on, guys? Let's go through the week tactics. Of course, we've got that 4-2-2 that I mentioned that I've been using. Honestly, for me, it's a top 3 formation inside the game. We're going to go over this and everything in a second, but let's of course start with the defensive one first. Okay, now let's be realistic, guys. The 4-2-1-3 still up there with being one of the best formations inside the game. I think the way I positioned this formation is it's more of a defensive formation. This is more for one to close out the game. To be honest, you might find a lot of your time staying on this formation. It's the most stable of them all. And the idea is, just like the 4-2-1-3 is known for, is both equally very defensive, but also very attacking. I would say counter-attack being the biggest threat here. Advanced forward, you can also use poacher here. It's up to you. That's more down to personal preference, whatever you want to use. Inside forwards, I kind of experimented with winger last week, a little bit with Shirky here, but I've decided just going back to the classic inside forward since we've got this new formation. And then the cam is on playmaker. Had this been a more attacking formation, I would have probably leaned towards shadow striker because they effectively stay forward. But, you know, on the defensive end, I want this player to come back, and that is why I put him on playmaker. So at least they can help with the defense a little bit. That's the whole idea with them. So at least that player's going to come back a little bit just to help with the defense, but still in a position to counter attack as well. In fact, you can probably experiment with build-up play if you really wanted to be a bit more defensive, but I like balance the way it is. For both the CDMs, I use deep line playmaker. This is probably one of the few formations where I use them both on deep line playmaker. I personally like holding more, but typically speaking, because deep line playmakers sit deeper in possession, in theory, it's more defensive than holding. But I prefer holding, but I would say on more defensive formations, I don't mind this being close to the back four. So if I am getting pressed, I've got those players close by to help me, and I can always push them forward the L1 button as an exit strategy if need be. But that's the reason we got this on that. So don't forget, you're going to be defending in that 4-2-1-3. You're going to have those left mid, right mid, or left wing, right wing can backed up defensively. But of course, they are there for the counter attack. And then for the tactics, pretty much simple. You can go with balanced here, but even so, I still play counter with a defensive attack. This is my style. You may want to change this to balance if you ask me personally speaking, but this is just what I want to use. Now, when we go over now down to the defensive approach on balance, now it's up to you. I've made a video on what defensive depth you should use. Don't really go towards 70. Even if you use 70 for every other formation, for your defensive formation, I was strongly advising using something like a 45 to 50 if you're not sure, leave it on 50. But I think for me, 45 is the good appropriate balance where I'm not sitting too deep on the defensive line, where I'm getting exposed to Travellas and counter attack. That's why I don't really go a bit deep anymore. But also my defensive line is not letting the strikers stay inside the box as well. So I'm applying appropriate pressure, being slightly aggressive with my presence manually, but without the team falling back or auto-pressing for me. They just stay in position, hold their position. Is up to me to defend, and of course, up to you to defend. CDMs can help you a lot, but at the end of the day, if you don't know how to defend, then at the end of the day, you're going to still concede if you don't know how to defend. Do you want to increase your win rate just before team of the season? We got the Division 10 to Elite Division series. All the videos are finally uploaded. We show you how to get from Division 10 to the Elite Division basic gameplay. No speed boosting, no mechanic abusing, no Travella at all, because we want you to get there just with basic gameplay to show you don't need to mechanic abuse. If you want to mechanic abuse, that's fine. But we want to show you how to play properly first and then show you what the pros do. What pros do is they use basic gameplay and then they mechanic abuse to get the top 10%. Not the other way around. They don't mechanic abuse first and then learn the basics. We go over complete in-depth tutorials. And don't forget, with my entire series, if you join now during team of the season, remember, if you don't get better after 1 month, we will refund your money. That is the nil guys guarantee. That is how sure we are. We've been running this for 4 or 5 years. We go over in-depth tutorials. We also go over pro gameplay analysis where we analyze the full professional player's game. We've got tutorials for everything, undefendable through balls, player locks, precision passing, precision shooting, everything that you could think of that goes beyond my YouTube channel. We've got the full defensive series, which defending series alone, just by watching that, I can guarantee you will improve. Patreon.com/nilguys. Links down below in the description. If you don't get better after 1 month, just send a message on Discord or send a message through Patreon and I'll refund your money. That's the Nil Guys guarantee. Don't believe me? Try it out. What have we got to lose? Less than the price for a KFC meal nowadays. Links down below in the description. So that'll be the defensive tactic. Oscar, hashtag, capital Charlie, capital Hotel, capital Delta, Niner, capital November, uniform, Yankee, kilo, hashtag. Then we're going to move over to the defensive formation, hence the name. Now, this one will just be a regular 4-2-2. If you want to, you can even trade this in with a more attacking system or a more defensive system. But personally, this is what I feel comfortable with. I go with my classical usual layout, one poacher, one advanced forward. Ideally, plus is what you want. 2 playmakers. The only thing, if you really want to change this, you could technically put them both on half winger to kind of make this play like a 4-4-2. Let's say you want to play a 4-4-2, but perhaps you haven't got the cams that can easily change or play more positions. Like, for example, like here, Ranieri can play right wing, but this cam can't play a wide position. Then that's something you can consider. But I personally like playmaker. They still come back to defend, and I like this 4-2-2 being a bit more narrow and these players being a bit more involved centrally in the attack. Now, as I mentioned to you, I like one of each. So one deep line playmaker defend and one on holding. The holding player just sits a bit more forward, so I like it. Especially when you're getting pressed, you kind of got that one player just a bit higher, so your opponent's players are basically not in the same line. This gives you a bit of space. You can also push this player going forward. It can really help. You'll understand if you're really not sure, give this a go. One on deep line playmaker defend, one on holding. I'm pretty sure you'd probably switch to it. Both the fullbacks on defend. Nothing funky going on here. This is just purely the balance system. It's basically identical to this one, you could argue. The only difference is as you can see, you have 2 strikers as opposed to just 1 striker and a cam. So 2 strikers being a bit more attacking. Of course, you still maintain the defensive deep line playmakers as well in the defense if you want to. And if you can, of course, remember this. Always change it for whatever you want. It's kind of, I always say with tactics is like getting a seat in your car. You know, you and your friend or your brother might share the same car as you, but you have different seat positions. Make the changes for your own playstyle. If you know you like 2 deep line playmakers defend, then leave that there. If I put both of these players on wing back and I give this to the average player and I release these tactics out, and everyone uses wing backs, they're probably going to concede. So if you're a rank 1, rank 2 player, you may be using wing backs. If you're not, you won't be using it. So remember, when I release these tactics, I have to kind of release it for all skill levels, not just someone in rank 1 and nor for someone in division 5. So equilibrium is the capital Quebec, Sierra, Oscar, Yankee, Romeo, $, and sign, capital Whiskey, Alpha, capital Mike, and again. And that will be the code for the balance system. And if you're wondering about the depth here, just very, very quickly, I personally have gone with high, but I understand the reasonings why you might go with balanced. And to be honest, for a balanced formation, you may go with balanced. But as I said, I'm a high skill player. Always changes for your playstyle. If I give you high and you know you're like a rank 4, rank 5 player and you still struggle defensively, consider going to 50. These should be things at this stage of the game you should be fine-tuning yourself, not just looking at what some random person internet is doing. That's just nonsense. Now, going over to the favorite one, the shock and awe, as I like to call it, one of my favorite tactics. Honestly, I think personally speaking, this is top 3 tactics inside the game alongside the 4-4-2, 4-2-1-3. We're going to put the 4-4-1-1 with the 4-4-2 together. So I think this is legit top 3. In some ways, this could be sometimes one of my favorite formations currently to use inside the game with the current meta. I explained this yesterday in yesterday's video on the effectiveness of it. Counter and high is what I go with. Again, be mindful of the depth depending on your skill level. Now, as I said to you, the reason why I love this formation, people saying it's difficult to play. It's not. If people watch the video, it's actually so simple. All you're doing, instead of having one player on this side, you're just pushing this player here and you're pushing the cam over there. That's basically all that's happening is your cam's going to the left and then your right cam is going to the middle. And this actually is easier to play this formation than any other formation. You just attack down one side. Very, very simple. You literally just attack down one side. It's so easy to use. You don't have to even watch the video. As long as you understand that line, you're completely fine. But the most important thing is that half winger. Don't put them on anything else like attack. Just put them on balanced. I think they have a good rotational where they can come back defensively, but also help in the attack. The most important thing is, I would say plus for the Shadow Striker. You should have your Immortals Evolution here, but it shouldn't be that hard to get a roll plus player at this stage of the game. But I think this position is important, but ideally try to get them both on plus. I think that's where you get the best AI movement, if you ask me personally speaking. Holding on the defend, deep line playmaker, as we mentioned before. The fullback on the right-hand side is on defend, and the fullback on the left-hand side is balance. I've already explained this in yesterday's video, so I don't want to go over it too much, but you can put defend if you want to, but I like it on balance. So this would be the tactic. This would be the code. If you're wondering, capital X-ray, Sierra, Victor, Fiver, goodness sake, 5. Capital Charlie Uniform 7 Echo Hotel Capital Tango 7. I have to always read it out. People always ask me what the code is, and I have to read out because sometimes people actually watch this video while entering the code at the same time, in case anyone is wondering why I do that. Now, what you could do is, I'm just going to give you a quick example. I'm going to duplicate this tactic for a second. What you could do is, I mentioned before I played a 3-5-2 variation. If you want to, you can do that, and you can do that simply like this. So, of course, we do have, technically speaking, we have 5 tactical slots. So if you wanted to make a 3-5-2, you could also do something like this. So you're defending a 4-2-2 or 4-4-2, realistically speaking, and then you'll attack in a 3-5-2. I know for most of these people that are watching this video, again, this is not, I don't want to sound patronizing, but a lot of people just don't know how to defend the game. It's the most common issue. People could be in elite division, but still know how to defend. If you don't know how to defend, this is very risky. So just do better than mine. But for anyone here that's pushing for the higher ranks, the top rank 3s, 2s, and 1s, this is something that you can consider. But of course, just remember, against a top tier player, against a 4-2-3-1, with those players on state forward, you could get countered. So as long as you have the ability to know when to switch away from this formation, that's the key, is reading the game, understanding what your opponent is doing, and being versatile and adapting to the situation. But that is something that you can add in if you want to, after the shock and awe tactic of my 4-2-2. And then, of course, we come finally to the pressing tactic. Again, this is just the one to win the ball back. This is if I'm losing and I need to get the ball back. I go with a 44, box to box, both of these players, both the fullbacks on balance. Goalkeepers are always on goalkeeper defend. I don't touch anything like sweeper keeper, anything like that. And then inside forward for both the left wing and the right wing. And Zakaria normally gets subbed off at this point. If I'm coming to a 4-2-4 system, I need more energy. I need players with stamina. So Zakaria, the defensive player, gets subbed off. And I normally sub on someone like Shirky, who can play left wing, right wing, Cam, wherever he can play as well. I normally sub off 4 players. I normally sub off the centre mids as well. And potentially sometimes the fullbacks for pressure as well. Now, counter high. Now, this is the only thing that I would say. I would say for most people, it's probably advisable to use 70, because the argument is you can actually play this formation a bit earlier on and use 70, but I personally use 90-95. Again, don't forget they've nerfed aggressive D-pad tactics. It's actually better for you to use 70 and team press, but me personally speaking, I'm only changing to this formation if I need to get the ball back and I'm losing 2-0. I need to apply pressure. Otherwise, I'm applying pressure myself. So that would be it. So as you see over here, so we got, of course, the formation to start the game with, the defensive tactic. Then, of course, we have the balance tactic with the 2 strikers. Still 2 players coming back. The cams are coming back, but we still got the 2 striker system. A step up from this one. And then, of course, we got my favorite formation, which I'll be honest, I'm actually starting a game with. But I probably recommend you guys start with a 4-2-1-3. But if you don't mind having a bit of fun, testing some things out, and to be honest, this really does shock people. That's why, hence the name. But I think, honestly, it's, like I said, top 3 formations right now. Honestly, give it a go. You'll be genuinely surprised how fun it is. And then the 4-2-4, very, very simple. If I need to press the ball, if I'm losing 1-0, I still stay on this one. But let's say I'm losing 2-0, my opponent's holding the ball, lobbing the ball from side to side. You know what I'm talking about, and you need to get the ball back. That is when I go to this tactic here. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, if you want to get better FC, come to my Patreon series. We've got Division 10 to Elite Division series. And listen, remember, if you don't get better after 1 month, just our defending videos alone, we've got 6-7 defending videos. We actually got like 30, but we've got 7 videos. If you just watch those 7 videos and you implement exactly what I tell you, we'll guarantee will improve your weekend league performance and help you get extra wins. If you don't, we'll refund your money. That is the Nil Guides guarantee. You got nothing to lose. Links down below in the description. Patreon.com/NilGuides. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time.